Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions, your home for all things Psycho, Ultraverse edition, where we're going through um, a good bulk of the Ultraverse gamut of books, following the Marvel fandom reading order in chronological order. And I'm here. You can't see him; he's invisible. But I'm here with my host, Aaron
Those aren't even
Conway.
my hands. Yep, it's me.
Wait, is it me or is this you? See, they don't even know who's actually showing this.
I would imagine if they've watched Psychonaut Sessions, they recognize the wedding ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, we're tackling a really fucking good one. I was excited for this, man. Prime.
Yep,
Prime number
that's
one.
that was my jam, my favorite of the
Oh,
Ultraverse back in the day.
yeah. This I long before Solution, which you know is my favorite. I'll never stop talking about it, but long before Solution even came out, Prime was the first book I saw in the Ultraverse line that I was like, I want this book so bad. Dude, look at this cover. Norm Breyfogle. Like that we've got our Ultraverse border. The way that the colors pop on this, you know, with his outfit and then this blue like splash like background.
Right.
The logo, like when I think about the logo for our comics universe, and whenever I've always thought about it when I was young, I always kind of thought about this, the coloring and everything of this logo. Like this was quintessential to me.
Yeah. No, I mean it's and God, the way his cape wraps around that border and like
Yeah.
yeah, this was a really good cover. Really worked on me too as a kid because I
Yeah.
mean obviously being the Superman nut that I am, like muscular caped dude, I was already going to be like, "What's that?"
Yeah. Well, it was like now we get a chance to jump on from the very beginning of a new type of Superman, you know?
Yeah,
It had that level of excitement. And then like when you see Norm Brayfogle's like insane freaking like veins popping out everywhere, you're just like, what? Like this guy's ridiculously ripped. The grin and the finger was a little goofy, but like you know why when you know the story. Like you get like, oh, okay.
right.
Yeah, totally. This cover I think was the like drew me in. I can't say enough good things about it. I don't know if
No, yeah, I mean it's a dope cover.
yep.
Well, and we did both read the. Speaking of the order, that the whatever Marvel order,
Yep.
we read the first part of the Ultraverse or Ultra Premiere Zero or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Ultraverse
I
Premiere.
got all the coupons, man. I got all the coupons. I got all 5 coupons and sent off for
All for
no.
that Jim Lee cover.
Fuck yeah, man. Look at that Jim Lee shit. Mantra kicking this guy's ass. Look at my border is a little off though, see?
Yeah, that's
So
true. You do
maybe
have
it'll be
the
room for
back
more.
cover.
This is a pretty cool group shot by Art Nichols
Yeah,
of like everybody. It's not
little ensemble. Yeah,
yeah. So
the
that's
story
fun.
for Prime was not. I don't know. I mean, I get why we're skipping it because it literally just gives an extra 8 pages to what gets mentioned at the beginning of Prime number one.
But
So,
it doesn't really add to the story.
well, right. I didn't need to see the pervy gym teacher like
Yeah.
be a perv. That was
Yeah.
it was bad enough. Like seeing the girl's reaction in number one was enough
Yeah.
that I didn't need to actually see the event happen.
Unnecessary. Well, let's take a look into Prime number one, or what I like to call prototype number zero.
Fair enough.
Because there's like 3 or 4 pages that are like purely just setting up the prototype.
Right.
Oh well, but now this was a fucking splash page. Like this,
Right.
like all of the Ultraverse books we looked at so far, like just opening up to this, like this is Kirby-esque. It is so just like, ow. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I will say that for the first part in Ultraverse Premiere Zero, like that last panel of him flying back into the school to have his confrontation with the gym teacher. Plus, the nightmare actually was dope. I mean, Prime, that's part of the reason I loved Prime. Like, how was I not going to? It's freaking a young kid with Superman like powers crossed with body horror.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I loved everything about how gross all of this was.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, you think of the idea of, and this is where he's flying into the school.
Yeah, and you know why he's flying in, because
Yeah.
like we talked about, you saw it go down, but first he freaks out, wrecks the jet, saves the jet, and then goes in to confront.
Coach is a perv for the little girls, and he's like, fuck, and I'm gonna kill that dude. So, yeah, I mean, that's what was like so interesting about this is like when you're a kid and you have the ability to turn into this huge Superman, super freak, whatever thing, or like Captain Marvel or whatever, Shazam, but it's like horrific. It's scary. Like it's scary the way it happens. Like he's like suffocating inside of this like goo, and they're also like just the way they tackle this. They tackle this in this like very realistic way, where you're dealing with these like really weird subject matter. Like there's this coach who's like touching little girls, and he wants to take that out. You get to see these interactions that he has with all the people around him. That's truly like if a fucking 13-year-old boy who's imperfect would be acting, like he screws up, he flinches. Well, we'll get into it. I fucking love it. Len Strazewski, Gerard Jones were the writers. Norm Breyfogle cannot give enough props. And let's give more props to Tim Eldred, because that dude can letter like nobody's business, if you ask me.
Yep.
Paul Mounts is the color design, but as I discussed before, most of the colorists were teams of people that created pseudonyms for a specific team.
After you told me that, now I don't know who to give shout, because some of the like in the last episode of this when we talked about Hardcase, like sometimes the color is better than others, and like so sometimes it's tough to be like, well, now I don't know who to praise or who to like. Better luck next time.
Well, the coloring for this is totally kick ass, but there are in this book some weird choices. Like this blue lighting, it's just weird. So like the color offsets aren't off on this, but they do make some decisions that's like, what were you guys smoking that day in California? Like what? Which it's cool. I mean, it kind of adds to it. Yeah, I mean, this fucking splash page has so much power. Whoever has the original art for this, like, you're a lucky son of a bitch. And then we get a double page spread, kind of like Hardcase. So, he's just getting ready to take out the coach. There's nothing more that gets added to this story wise. You just can see, okay, there's these girls here. This girl, Kelly, who's obviously the boy's love interest, is like, what? He's talking about us. How does this guy know about? Imagine if Superman just like crashed through the fucking roof and started attacking your gym teacher and starts talking about, I saw you touch these girls.
Right.
You would be freaked out. Like the girl isn't all like, oh, look at him. Like you would be like, what the fuck?
Well, part of it too, though, is like the destruction that's on hand. Like all of her friends are like, "Let's get the hell out of here! What are you doing?" And then she's like, she explains what she's doing. So I can appreciate that she's not just staying there for story. I mean, well, she is for story reasons, but there's a reason. It's not just the story needs her to stay there.
Yeah. God damn, this is so good, dude. Just what a great choice.
Yep.
All right, so he gives him a little smack, and so we're actually getting narration here from the gym teacher. So we're actually getting narration from the people Prime has attacked. And of course, he's giving a different point of view where this guy just came out of nowhere and attacked me. But then we're getting the real time of what's actually happening, of like this guy yelling at him and screaming at him like a 13-year-old boy, really. And so he gets smacked, breaks his jaw because he doesn't know his own power. And he even says, I don't even think he knew his own strength. So you're getting this indication that Prime he hasn't really tested this out yet. You know, he doesn't really know
its strengths or its weaknesses. Because like he points out when he goes to kick him, like he flinches.
He's flinching. And the coach is like, I thought maybe he was like fucking with me. Like whenever he flinched, like I thought he was like teasing me or something or working me over. And so he tries to kick him. It doesn't work. And then he moves his arm to the side. And I don't think he realizes it, but he actually breaks his arm. And that's rough. Breaks his arm and he's freaking out and he's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to. So it's like you can see the little boy inside of him,
right? Because now he thinks he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah. So well done, even in just a few pages. And then he turns to Kelly and he's like, wait, he deserved this and I did this for you. And she's like, what the fuck, you giant guy, fucking like go away. Oh, so good. Anything else you want to?
No, I mean that's pretty much self-explanatory there. I did like that we got the real context while the gym teacher is trying to paint himself as a hero to whoever he's talking to at this, because at this point we don't know who he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that.
Yep.
And I actually liked how this plays out for him.
Yeah. So yeah, here he is talking to whoever. There's this mystery person that's interviewing people, and he's like, "Okay, you're free to go." And he's like, "Do I get my cash?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you'll get it on the way out or whatever. Thanks for your testimony." And then as he leaves, he's like, "Why'd you let him go? He was a horrible, evil pervert." And what did he do? Oh, he
rated him so his sex drive would be gone, and even if he had sex drive, his dick no longer works.
Yep. I was like, okay, good job there.
Which I dug.
Yeah, totally. I was like, fuck yeah. So we get this next person that they're interviewing coming along, dressed very oddly. But this guy apparently runs a crack house. But he's not like fully admitting that, but he's talking about how Prime.
Well, and I love, this is another like thing from the 90s where like so many people I know believe this about entrapment, because every movie show, like they always were like, you gotta tell me if you're a cop,
right?
That's entrapment. And it's like, no, it's not. But it's funny seeing it everywhere.
It says it right there.
Yep.
So yeah, Prime crashes into his crack house, screaming, "No more crack!" And he's just trying to paint, the picture that this dude came out of nowhere again and ruining my stuff. And I don't understand actually what happened here. He's reacting as if he got like shot by something, but I don't see anybody with a gun. They're all actually. True. So that actually kind of confused me. But anyway, he breaks into where they're making the crack, and they start trying to shoot him. And so that's a pretty cool shot,
right?
Crotch shot of them shooting. And that's the cool thing about Norm Breyfogle, is that he can just kind of really throw things into some like weird angles sometimes too, and it works. And then we get to see how he's actually invulnerable about stuff. He's just like this gloopy, his body's just like this weird gloopy, like slimy stuff.
Well, and like only sometimes, because like the dude says, like some bounced off, but some bit. And
right.
It's like, we don't know the limitation. We don't know anything at this point as a reader. Like, it's gross and we love it, but.
And he's just as surprised as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kevin, the kid, is just like, what? We don't know he's a kid yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil.
Well, we did. If you read Zero, you knew he was a kid.
Yeah. And then he does a Hulk thunderclap,
which I loved.
Yeah, just like they do in the comics, he says. Yep. And so he tries to shoot fire at him, and that didn't work because this guy who runs a crack house has a fucking flamethrower on hand.
Sure.
Shoots fire at him, and he, of course, just like wraps the flamethrower around him, and I think that's where he like hurts his neck. That's why the guy has a thing on, and then he does like the whole Superman tornado thing and wrecks the whole house on it. It's hard to see that, but there we go. And wrecks the whole crack house. And so apparently, while he's being interviewed, then he relays that he's got a vial of some of the goop that fell off of Prime, and he's like, "I'll sell it to you guys," and they offer to like pay extra, and he's like, "Well, I want $10,000."
Yep, he pushes his luck.
Yep. Then they just bind him and they're like, "Screw you. You don't really deserve to live," and then they fucking electrocute him to death. I mean, I would have been fine with them electrocuting the dude that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like
little girls.
Evidently, Crack Lord is ranks lower than Perv, but yeah, I'd have been cool either way.
I could there could have been a way to switch. Like, if you had the ability to like beam some kind of radiation to kill a person's sex urge, couldn't you have done something like that to him instead?
Yeah,
and just killed the fucking pervy pedo dude.
Priorities.
I guess so. And so then we get our first glimpse, and they did kind of reveal they work for the government.
Yeah.
And he comes and snatches it off of them. "I am from the government, and I'm here to help." Just like, you gotta love these like corporation, like government overlords.
Well, yeah, and I mean that it's gonna go into like there's a little bit of it in Hard Case. There's a little bit of it here. There's a little bit like when we do Prototype. Yep. There's this vibe of like corporations that reminds me of RoboCop a lot, and so that's part of the reason I loved Ultraverse. Like, it had that through line of RoboCop DNA.
Exactly. Yeah, I 100% am on board with all of that. Give me more Extensive Enterprises knockoffs.
Yo, just filled with satire.
For anybody that doesn't get that, that's a G.I. Joe reference. I will note that these are older. I think these are older ads. Even though this, like, because look at the fucking logos here, and they've got that horrible. I remember using that effect in the earliest Photoshop programs in college, showing my age here, and that's just like, that is gaudy, horrible shit. Right, so then we get like fucking 5 pages of this fucking news show. That actually annoyed me. It's like, I don't. That's not what I want in my Prime comic. And we get a whole.
To me, it speaks to that RoboCop vibe of like, what's going on. So I was cool with it, but they do overplay it a little here because you're right. There's a lot because it goes from this to the Prototype to the
we're setting up Prototype, which is like a robot, like basically like an Iron Man armor that's sponsored by a corporation. We got Hard Case. It's just like they're just talking about everything we've already talked about. Hard Case. And we do get a sense here where they're talking about Prototype. God, I already got the fucking comic. All these goddamn coupons. Jesus. And they do talk about something happened to this Prototype.
Something happened at the exhibition, and
he's injured, and so they don't know what's going on. And the company is like, Ultratech is like, we'll let you know whenever, we have the ability to tell you more, and that sets you up for Prototype, which is the next one we're going to cover.
Which this was the first time we got a look back and forward, because we got Hard Case, and I mean, I get it that it's in case you didn't pick up Hard Case. Here's what's going on in Hard Case, and now here's what's gonna Prototype's coming. So I mean, I get from a world building standpoint, I get it, but this was a lot for one issue.
Yeah. And then they talk about. There's this new guy going around calling himself Prime, and he seems pretty fucking erratic. He's just like jumping around like in random places, like a middle school, and then blah blah blah. And that government guy is watching and like, shit, now this is outed. So they're looking for Prime, and they're like, we need to chase him down. And then like, news just in, Prime's being spotted in Somalia.
Well, and clearly the government knows, the government knows more than Prime does.
Yeah.
Because he's freaking out.
Yep.
the government guy, not Prime. Prime's freaking out too, but
Yeah, there's like this urgency of like that this is an uncontrollable situation. We need to get it like contained, whatever it is going on with this Prime thing. So, here we are in Somalia. We've got a whole contingent of UN soldiers, and we get Prime coming in, totally trying to be Superman, right? This is actually really fun because this like speaks to, again, this is a 13-year-old. Like, so as a 13-year-old, you think you're going to be in a comic book. You're going to go and be like, "Come on, gentlemen, I'll take care of it." Oh yeah,
he's definitely got the Mighty Mouse theme song playing as he's whooshing in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's like terrorists over there. We're not following you over there." And he's like, "Come on, what the hell?" Like he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
The reality of things. So the way they play this is so perfect. And then we get him getting attacked by these terrorists, and he turns around. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna take you on," and goes in and starts knocking out their tanks and shit.
Well, and much like that first splash page, the middle version of Prime there on the left, like Breyfogle does a thing with Prime's face sometimes where he looks horrifying.
I know.
And like you're saying, with it being this kid and he's getting caught up in his power and like,
yeah,
man, it's so creepy.
It is creepy. It's really weird. I remember reading this as a kid and like going, "Why the fuck does his face look like that? I don't understand." But like reading it now as an adult, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay."
He's drunk with power right there.
Yeah, I get it. So these quote unquote terrorists are, throwing grenades at him, and he's just letting them go off, and he's doing the creepy smile again and getting hit. Everybody's just like fun. Like, I mean, this is why you become a comic artist, is like scenes like this. And Norm Breyfogle's having a blast. And then he takes them all out and he's like, "All right, guys, you can come. We take your way out." And he's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And he starts fucking melting.
And I like that the UN dude is like, "Wait, we're trying to think. Hey, wait, what?"
Yeah. Like, I didn't know what to think of this. Like, I was like, "What?" Like when I was young, it was very intriguing. And then the next few pages just like kind of blew my mind. Oh, by the way, shout out to Protectors, dude. That's a book that we should cover together.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I love Protectors.
That book was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least I loved it then. I don't know. That one might bum me out too much if we reread it and it doesn't hold up for me.
It'll hold up. It'll be even better. I promise you. So he's racing home because he's falling apart. He's like melting. He's turning into fucking goop, and he's shooting back into America as fast as he can. He's like falling to pieces, and he's like trying to get home just a little further, and he can't quite make it. He crash lands into some kind of skyscraper. And as he does, God, dude, this fucked me up.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Oh my God, it was so good. He just starts fucking melting, and as he's melting, you can see the face of the boy inside, and he's just like, he is stuck inside, and he can't breathe. He's choking. Right. He's like inside this like slime fucking gelatin thing, and like can't get out, and has to punch his way out. And like finally bursts out. This is why Norm Breyfogle was hired for this job, was because of this. And I don't know how the camera's picking this up.
Pretty good from my angle.
Yeah, well, on the screen it looks more yellow, but this is actually like very green. It's like slime green.
Yeah, no, it looks greenish.
So green there.
Well, and I mean, dude, some of that were Kevin's. It's Kevin, right? That's his name.
I think so.
Some of it, it's very like Richard Corbin-esque to me. Yeah. Like some of those with his eyes so wide and his mouth like fading, or falling like that. That's the one thing that, like, reading Ultraverse Premiere 0 if I was having somebody that had never read these read these, I'd have them skip that. Not just because I don't think it's necessary, but it takes some of the sting out of this. Because if you didn't read that, you don't know that it's a little kid inside this like Hulk body.
Yeah, because Premiere Zero, they start there.
Right.
And it's like, no, I love like not knowing what's kind of going on, and then you get this at the end.
Yeah, this was a hell of a cliffhanger if you didn't know that. Which, reading it originally, you didn't. Like, this was the first you discover there's a little boy inside.
Yeah, because you had to I think you had to have Prime #1 to get Premiere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just went through the coupons earlier, so yeah.
And then here's our final page.
And that just discarded flesh.
Fucking puking.
So good, like
God damn.
Lord. Is it any wonder this was my favorite after I read it?
So good. You know, I would like to see Norm Breyfogle do a Hulk story.
Yeah, particularly now that last I heard they'd gone back to like a horror angle.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would do some good work. I don't even know if he's still alive. Dinosaurs for Hire is another one I wouldn't mind checking out.
That's one I never read. I always wanted to, but I never got my hands on any.
Yeah,
mostly because I had dinosaurs.
Nothing for me in the editorial. I still never got the goddamn joystick, but Prime #1.
Of the ones we've read so far, it is my #1 with a bullet.
Yeah, it was such a joy to read. It was a hard week too, and this livened me up. It was just like, it was comfort food.
Yeah, well, where Hardcase did not hold up as well.
Yeah,
I didn't. It seemed that you didn't like it. I didn't dislike Hardcase. Well, not that you disliked it, but like it fell for me some. Taking nostalgia glasses off, this still hits like it did when I read it the first time.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for is like, what are the parts of Ultraverse that still stand up, you know?
Yeah. Sadly, so far, this is the one that maintained. Everything else took a dip.
Yep.
Mostly because I didn't, at the time, I appreciated it, but when we've talked about it in one of the Strangers episodes, but like, the social commentary being like so much at the forefront in a weird way though, like the issue is not about it,
right,
but it touches on, like, it has to be included, and so like I don't know, it loses some points for me. Not that I think social commentary in comics is necessarily a bad thing, but you've got to have it. There's got to be a cool story that I'm digging alongside it. It can't be hinged on the social commentary, and it can't be like the social commentary be so prevalent that it's distracting.
Yeah. No, I get it. It didn't dip as much for me, but Hardcase certainly did. But thank you, Strazewski, Gerard Jones, Norm Breyfogle, Tim Mildred. You delivered a quality product.
Straczynski's a different dude.
Strazewski? Len Strazewski? Strazewski. Thank you. Yep. All right. Cool. Well, I'll be looking forward. I think we're going to be doing Prototype next, my friend.
Yep. That's going to be dope.
All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. You can find all of our links in the description. Buy Aaron's books and comics. Buy my books and comics.
Buy all the things.
Yep. And thank you for supporting us. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and keep it psycho.